All right, we are live. What up? What up? What up?
I was expecting like this big cinematic intro, but then just let them know.
Bro,
In a world,
ain't got money for that here. What are you talking about?
You realize that StreamYard installs you. You do realize that StreamYard affords you an intro that you can count down and get everyone hyped.
It doesn't afford me the money to be able to make my own intro. Just saying. I mean, unless you want me to do something really fucking stupid, like.
Well, I mean,
maybe I should make an intro. Okay, so
I know that.
Look at his ass. Oz, I know that you want to burn something in your collection. It pertains to this one of these topics.
No, I'm not burning anything. I want to, but I'd be punished.
But the one thing, the good intro, it would be for me would be just burning my it would be burning my Ben Simmons 76ers jersey, because what a fucking failure that human being is. That would be the one.
Fucking goof.
Yo, what's good, everyone? We just bullshit right now.
This is how I think of Philly.
Exactly. Well, that's why I think of Ben Simmons doing the dumb shit that he did. It's like, bro, I can't wear that shit out here. I will be tackled and thoroughly getting the shit kicked out of me if I actually wore Ben Simmons 76ers jersey. Yes, but what's good, chat? Yeah. Thank you, Zach. Yes. Thank you. You bought a Ben Simmons jersey. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry too. I definitely I'm sad about that.
Yeah, that's definitely unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, you can always buy a Jordan one.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a lot of Jordan stuff. I mean, I have like 35 pairs of Jordans at this point, so thoroughly invested in him. But yeah, that was one L that I do regret. But anyways, guys, what's good? We got the podcast going. There was slight technical difficulty, but everything's cool now. And I do have a panel here, and we're just gonna see how this goes. I'm just freeballing it, and we're gonna have a good time. But first off, I definitely want to introduce everyone. So first off, to my right, technically, is Society Reviews. I know that he went to see a movie today, and apparently I think he fell asleep or something like that. How you doing?
I should have. That movie was boring. Yeah, Society Reviews here. I literally just got back about an hour ago from watching the film Nope, and I'm in the middle of doing a review for that film. And all I can say is it's probably the most boring film that I've seen so far this year, but it's not quite the worst film that I've seen so far this year. So
that's something. I mean, what do you deem worse? A movie that's just outright bad, or one that's egregiously boring?
For me, the way that I rank bad movies of the year is basically I have to like hate a movie, like literally like walk out of the theater being like, that was just a complete waste of my life in order for it to be on the top 10 of worst of my list. So yeah, I have to leave the theater with a grudge if I'm going to put it on my top 10. Like I was talking about this with Spencer a minute ago about the Thor 4. It's like Thor 4 was bad, and I could see about 3 or 4 films coming up later this year that I'll probably knock that out of my top 10. That's just how bad the year's going. So
see, for me, like, I think that a movie that's bad sucks, don't get me wrong, but most of the time they're so bad that I could laugh at how bad they are. It's a movie that's egregiously boring that I think is worse, like, because I just feel nothing the whole time except wanting to go hang myself, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what Nope is. It's basically 2 hours and 15 minutes of a couple of people on a ranch getting attacked by a giant hot water balloon. So, yeah.
Good times, good times.
Yeah, so that's my boy.
Yeah, TJ's mic sounds like he's like literally in traffic right now as we're in the middle of this podcast.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, because I'm definitely in traffic.
But hey, let's go for it. We got my boy TJ Combo X here. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good. Ready to talk about these topics, man. I've reviewed a few things, seen some things yesterday, seen some today. Yeah, and I have a lot to say.
Yeah, I feel you, man. It's definitely I've been let down. I'm not gonna lie. And lastly, we got the maniac himself, judging by his avatar icon. We got Ozzknot. Ozzknot, how you doing today?
Hello, everybody. I'm okay. I'm sorry, you can go fuck himself.
Oh shit! All right, I'm just gonna give a shout out to the chat real quick. We got the coolest dude in the chat right now. What's up with you, man? It's good to see you. We got
the dudes.
Homie Lewis the Casual. I hope he's on time.
Big Papa Pump picture. I like that.
Yeah, Big Papa Pump.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And we got the homie Blaze 4K, man. I'm thankful that you came through, bro. It's always good to see you, man. Your stream last night was interesting as always. Always have fun chilling with y'all. The angry Luigi. and we got my boy Zach Hall, my fellow Halloween individual. We like to make like horror movie content. He recently did a video on the beauty of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I like that video a lot. He likes a lot of things that I'm into. Oz, you definitely like him because he's also a metalhead. So
sweet.
Yes. I think I did send you a link to his channel a while back, but he's definitely good peoples. My other homie, No Future 4K, he does a lot of playthroughs of games. He's also a really cool dude, really big supporter of the channel. I really do appreciate him coming through. And another dude that definitely supports. He's an awesome guy, genuinely chill dude, hustle and motivate. It's good to see you, bro. Thank you for coming through. And then Gat, the homie, the longtime homie, ghost of this podcast. He tried to come through while he was working, but unfortunately just didn't have a headset, so it wouldn't work out. And lastly, the Lemonade Kang. What's good?
Yeah.
Kang.
Yeah.
He's a professional lemonade maker. He deems his lemonade to be the greatest of the South. So, hey, there you go. Scarga, it's about the Rippaverse situation. Yeah, we about to get to that. That's actually... So, we're going to talk about movies first. And then we're going to get into Rippaverse. That's going to be comic books. Then we're going to transition, lastly, into gaming. But first, man... this one hurt. This hurt my childhood. Got to talk about Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie at it again. The thing, what kills me. So let's just get into it. Rob Zombie dropped his trailer for his Munsters movie, and this is yet another franchise he's attached himself to. And I watched that trailer, and basically it killed my soul. It had me pissed off for like a whole week. That's how much that shit fucked with me. Yeah, like have you guys seen the trailer? First off, have you guys ever watched the original Munsters TV show? I'm curious.
Yes.
All right, Oz,
I watched the trailer, but I haven't seen the Rob Zombie one yet. So
yeah, but so you watched the original show?
But asking me or everyone? Oh yeah.
How about you, TJ? Have you ever watched the original Munsters?
I'm familiar with the show. I've never watched like a full like season or anything, but I've seen spots here and there. Yeah,
I got you. So
I own it.
Just a little, yeah. My dad actually owns it. I'd be stealing it from him sometimes. But just to go through a quick little info about the Munsters. The Munsters was a TV show that happened in the 60s. It only ran for about 2 seasons, and the reason why is because unfortunately the Batman TV show came out and basically stole all their viewership. But what's interesting about the TV show in general is that it went on through generations to become a true cult classic, and it has led to basically the cast coming back and doing 2 films. One was in the 60s and the other one was in 81. That's the original cast, and there's been like actual movies with different portrayals. A lot of them didn't really catch on. It's one of those things where they keep revisiting the Munsters, and since the original cast, it has been kind of a shit show for the most part. And now we have Rob Zombie that's throwing his hand into the fucking cookie jar, and to me it looks fucking abysmal. But
Well, hold on a second. I mean, were you not? Wasn't he the one that did? Was it Halloween or Friday the 13th?
He did Halloween.
I think it was Halloween.
Halloween remakes, 1 and 2.
Okay, okay. Can you honestly say that the Rob Zombie Halloween films were any worse than the current iteration of the Halloween series that we're currently experiencing right now?
You know what? So here's the thing. I used to hate the Rob Zombie Halloweens. But after watching these new Halloweens, it's making me consider revisiting his Halloweens.
Yeah.
Because in the grand scheme of things, it's like they were bad, but are they necessarily that bad? It's like the Star Wars effect.
Okay.
Everyone hated the Star Wars. Yeah, I think that they aren't that bad. Like it's like the Star Wars effect. Everyone hated the prequels up until the sequels came out, and now everyone's just like, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, the prequels actually weren't that bad.
Yep.
And it's the same effect.
It's the beauty of lowering the bar. Like you get a very, very garbage series or garbage franchise, and you think to yourself, wow, this can't possibly get any worse than this. And then we have modern filmmakers who are like, hold my beer, and they end up making something far, far worse than what you realize. Yeah. You immediately turn around and go to the other guys. It's like, you know what? Maybe I owe you an apology. I mean, we were obviously just talking about this earlier this week with the Resident Evil that just came out on Netflix. It's like, how can you make something that's even worse than the 6 movies that we saw before that and that other garbage movie that came out just 6 months ago? How did you make it worse?
Yeah, it's just
weird. Get that shit out of here. Get that shit out of here.
This is the new Herman Munster. Oz,
goofy bitch off my
how do you
screen.
feel that they depreciated your mans to this?
I wish they sent him to Mortal Kombat. She get fucking executed. I'm sorry. God. Yeah.
Straight to Guantanamo.
Yeah. And here's a little comparison for you. This is the original Munsters cast. This is from the 60s. Yeah. These are the original people. This is what we grew up to know and love. And the thing about the Munsters that makes it different from the Addams Family is that the original source material is these individuals, whereas the Addams Family, they had the comic book, so you can draw your own inspiration from that source material, whereas anything that revisits the Munsters is either going to copy this or not copy it and just do whatever the fuck they want to do. And it seems as though with Rob Zombie, it's just him doing whatever the fuck he wants to do.
What the fuck is that?
I'm going to be honest.
Clearly it's a Munsters movie. I don't know why.
As someone that hasn't seen the original series, just watching the trailer, this looks like something that was like a fan-made like YouTube video that had like a very small budget to work with to make this come to life, and unfortunately it needs to be shot.
Where's this bitch's makeup? Lily Munster had makeup on. Like, where's this bitch's makeup?
Look sort of blue. Like, I don't understand. They made him the father look blue, and they give him.
Well, he has a porn stash. He has a fucking porn stash. What is that?
It just hit me. His wife looks like, remember the blonde from 30 Rock, the old blonde chick. Yeah. I can't remember exactly what her name is, but she looks exactly like her.
Damn.
Oh, but uglier.
But the thing is, it's like you look at these characters the way that they are. It's like, now I think that Grandpa has the weird ass curls here, but he isn't egregious when you compare him to the original Grandpa right here.
Oh no, I can't.
I can't either. But at least he has the hawk beak. I'll give him that.
He does. He got the snag.
I feel like, the curls are really like stupid, but at least they made him blue. What kills me is that Herman Munster looks like a pencil neck geek that doesn't even fit into the outfit. He's clearly not tall enough, because when you compare him to Lily Munster, I mean, he's not that tall. But when you look at Yvonne DiCarlo, like, Herman looks like enormous in comparison to Yvonne DiCarlo, and it's like she's up to his shoulders, and it's like, and he's wearing like the stilts on the bottom too, that the original Herman Munster used to wear, and the outfit, it's just like, bro, what the fuck? And they have them in like a 70s attire in one part of the trailer, and I can't play the trailer because YouTube is YouTube, but the most egregious, I know that you hate Herman Munster, the most egregious thing to me is that Rob Zombie casted his shitty actress wife to play Lily Munster. That kills me inside because Yvonne DiCarlo
is that her professional stage name, shitty actress wife?
Pretty
I hope
much.
so. Coming to stage, shitty actress one.
Yeah, and it's just disappointing to me that you even attempted this. And what's interesting to me about this is that it's a prequel to the Munsters themselves. And it's like, why did you choose to do a prequel? Is it because, well, the Munsters, you have to understand, the Munsters TV show is like, you take Universal classic monsters and then you put them in a nuclear family setting. So it's like, did you do a prequel in order to avoid doing the whole nuclear family thing? Because it's like, because we know that Hollywood doesn't deal in that shit. So.
Oh, hold on. I just realized something that you should have let off with, because that kind of just explains everything that you said in your rant. This is a Netflix series. End of discussion. But it's Netflix.
It's a Netflix series?
Yes.
It's coming to
Are you serious? It is on Netflix?
It's a Netflix series. So
I didn't even know that.
So throw this into the same pile with Cowboy Bebop, with Resident Evil, and every other shitty remake. It's still Netflix. It don't matter. It's still Netflix. These people are like professional franchise destroyers.
Yeah,
they're basically the sledge.
No,
this says Universal Entertainment and Netflix, so they're hyping this up. It looks like
where
this
it belongs, in the fucking trash.
Yeah.
At this point, Netflix is just the shitter. It's where series go to die. Everything you love goes to die.
Well, I mean, look, I did a story for Bounding the Comics earlier today about how bad Netflix is right now. They've lost about 2 million subscribers. Their stock price is down about 60%. They're laying off people massively right now. And it's because their content is just the absolute shits. Like there's nothing about their original content that's worth watching.
Yeah.
Like, how do you fuck up He-Man Masters of the fucking Universe? I mean, come on. Get out of here.
You hire incompetent writers. That's how you doing it.
Oh, yeah. A competent fucking director can go fuck himself.
And the thing is, look, to be fair, I don't really like Rob Zombie. But what I can give him is that he has a name that people recognize. So he does have power within this industry to whatever extent. He is both the writer and the director of this film. So clearly he has pull. And I will say this, I don't like Rob Zombie's content, but he's capable of being different from everyone else. He's the type of dude, he was like, and I don't like Halloween 2, but he's like, I want to use 16 millimeter film to make Halloween 2. And that's something that most creators won't do, but he saw an artistic vision with doing that and he went with it. So it's like he's capable of being creative. So it's like, why don't you make your own unique thing? Because you have pull in this industry and you can write it yourself, you can direct it yourself. So why don't you?
Well, the one thing that I will give Rob a little bit of credit on is that like the projects that he takes up, I'm sure that he's a fan of them. So he's not like one of these guys who's like never like heard of these franchises before or was never a fan of them. So he'll put his own like personal like spin on it, but he does like at least try to live up somewhat to the original adaptation. He's not like one of these people who was like, oh, I did like 5 episodes of Supernatural and now I'm get to do this show that I know absolutely nothing about. But here's my agenda that I want in place for this show, because if that was the case, like half the characters on here would be gay, and then like another one would be like they'll be like race swapped all around the place. Like it'll be just a complete dumpster fire. But with Rob in charge, it seems like they'll pull the reins a little bit on what we typically see from Netflix.
Yeah, my biggest criticism of Rob is that before he did Halloween, he thought that the fact that they were doing remakes of all these classic franchises, especially in the horror space, were unacceptable. He's openly said that himself. And then he went on to do Halloween, and now he's going on to do the Munsters. And it's just like, this is why I'm hard on this dude, because he totally felt another way, but he saw the bags of cash and he sold the fuck out. And that's what bottom line is. He sold out, and now we have to deal with shit like this. That clearly, I grew up watching the Munsters with my family, bro.
It makes me fucking sick, because this dude is a die-hard Monster fan. I know he is. The motherfucker has a song called Dragulator. It's on his album. That's the name of the fucking car. I mean, he used to praise the shit out of the Munsters. He set pieces of Herman Munster. Oh, his whole career, he's the Munsters. And then make this piece of shit. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, like I said it in my videos discussing this trailer, but I'm like, I just feel like a bunch of porn stars got together to make a porn parody of the Munsters. So bad.
His music sucks. His current films suck. He can go fuck off a tree. I don't care.
Yeah. Zach Hall
But
said
I mean,
Halloweens are better than this trash we're getting, and I'm a horror purist.
They are.
I will say this: I would rather watch the Halloween remakes than
because you know why? They have production value. They actually look like they're made with quality. This shit looks like it's made in your fucking back room. I don't know, somebody's basement.
Yeah, this looks like a spoof, whereas he tried to take Halloween seriously. It may have went, in a direction you don't necessarily like, but he did seriously go all in on trying to bring out that really dark, fucked up atmosphere that he was going for.
It should have been Timber. It should have been Timber.
I want to see in the future when an interview is taking place in regards to this, and he can actually be open about what took place in regards to the production of this project for it to turn out the way it did. Because obviously he's going to be tight-lipped so that he can get people to view it, so that he can then, of course, get money based off the streams. But later and down the line, I want him to speak openly about this, because clearly there's something going on there's a disconnect between the source material versus what we are seeing here, and it doesn't look good just based on who's behind it. And it looks like the budget was $200,000 at the most, and they just had to leverage that and use it as the best they could, and this is the end product.
Yeah,
I think he took the fucking money and ran.
Here's the thing: I'm watching this right now, and this looks like something that you would see like on like a Friday night on like Nickelodeon or the Disney Channel. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost feels like a Disney Channel.
They got better budget than this.
But looking at this is like a Disney Channel like original movie that they would play like Friday night for like younger kids. So that's the vibe that I'm getting from this right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Gat said the Munsters trailer was incredibly weird, like a parody on YouTube, making a Brady Bunch themed Munsters episode without the crowd or laughing track. Yeah, it's true. What makes it hard to do the Munsters film and why it continues to fail is that the source material is the actors themselves. The way they uniquely portrayed the characters, their mannerisms, everything is based upon the original television show. So if you don't copy that to a T and then manage to somehow make it fresh in its own way, you're not going to win anyone over. And it's like when you look at Rob Zombie being attached to this project and the fact that it's the Munsters, who does this appeal to? Because it doesn't appeal to Munsters fans, and it doesn't appeal to his fans either, because his fans tend to be a little more like into like hardcore, like dark shit, like Halloween, for example. So I don't really see the point of this. This is like a comedy that has old school monster.
If you want to see a good rehashing of a show, go watch the Addams Family movie, the first one. That movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think that's way better. But any final thoughts on this before we move on to the next topic?
I mean, how much worse can this possibly be than The Kissing Booth, The Kissing Booth 2, The Kissing Booth 3, and The Kissing Booth 4, which is already in pre-production? How much worse can this possibly be than all those great classics?
Okay, but this is personal. This strikes me personally. I don't know what the fuck The Kissing Booth 1, 2, 3, and 4 is to me.
It's probably the best thing it's probably the best thing Netflix has on their channel once all the other networks take this shit off of it. And then that's what you're left with. So
yeah.
It's like, how do you fuck up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? What the fuck, Netflix? What the fuck is that? I'm done.
I mean, they haven't gotten Texas Chainsaw Massacre right since the original.
Since ever.
Arguably. Yeah.
In hindsight, the remake that they did with Jessica, I think it's Jessica Biel.
Yeah, Jessica Biel.
That one looks much better in hindsight when you compare it to everything that's come out since then.
Yeah. I actually don't mind watching that movie. It keeps you in suspense. Like, it did a good job of keeping you in suspense, and some of the camera work was really good. Like when they would zoom in through the hole in back of the truck with camera work, that was really slick the way they did that. So there's definitely some highlights from that.
Fuck you, Rob Zombie. Go fuck yourself.
How much you guys want to bet that Lily will be a raging feminist? I wouldn't be surprised. Meanwhile,
She'll be a role monster. She'll be a fucking tranny. All right, let's go.
And it's like Lily Munster is like the perfect housewife. Like she's the one. I mean, she would do cleaning, which would be rearranging the cobwebs, and she would have dinner ready. But it would be like this dead stuff. But like she was the ideal housewife that any man would love to have. So I just find it interesting that they made this a prequel as to not go into the traditional nuclear family, because that's what Hollywood is clearly against.
All right, so, I mean, like I said, it's just lowering the bar to the point where things that were bad before aren't that bad in comparison, even though they're still bad.
Yeah, no doubt. So, with all that being said, we're gonna move on to Halloween Ends. Now the trailer dropped. Yes.
I saw the trailer when I was watching Nope, and all I have to say was, thank God this will be the last one. Hopefully. I mean,
my God.
TJ, what you think about the trailer? Oh wait, did you watch it? Or
I haven't seen anything past the reboot or the sequel that came out. I watched some of it, but I didn't get to finish it, and I haven't seen anything past that. So that's why I haven't seen the trailer.
Got you. And Ozzknot, what you think about the trailer so far?
I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic.
You
I don't know what to say. I know it shouldn't be. We're trying to be nice. I love Michael. He's my favorite. He's my favorite slasher. I can't. It's hard.
I mean, ideally, we want the movie to be good.
Well, just to answer the quick question, Jamie Lee Curtis, I believe, is 63 years old now, even though she looks somewhat older in this film, which I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but
I know that when they did Halloween 2018, they came out and said that they had to make her look a little older. So I don't know if they're continuing with that. I mean, it's been a few years since then. I don't know if she's more fitting into the role now. But
it's like, hey, we know you're an old bitch. We're gonna make you even older. So here you go.
Oh my God. But for me, I love the original Halloween 1978. It's one of my all-time favorite films. It's a movie I watch multiple times a year. And for me, I do like the original line of Halloween films. Probably 6 is where I kind of fell off, but I can still watch all those movies, even 3, even though it's not a Michael Myers film. But since then, it's like you got Halloween H2O, which I didn't like. Michael Myers has blue eyes, and I can't unsee it. No, that's Halloween Resurrection. That's absolutely fucking abysmal.
That's hilarious.
Abysmal. Was that the Busta Rhymes one, or was that the LL Cool J one?
That's motherfucker. Because nobody can kill Michael Myers except Busta Rhymes.
And then we have the Rob Zombie remakes 1 and 2, which I do want to revisit because I do want to do like a list detailing like best to worst, in my opinion. And then we have the new trilogy, the Halloween 2018, which takes place. It is a direct sequel to Halloween, the original. So they basically cut out all those extra films and said, we're just going to pretend those don't exist. And
well, not only that, they also retconned it so that they're not brother and sister anymore as well.
Well, the fact that they basically eliminated Halloween 2 and on basically eliminates that as well, because that was established in Halloween 2 and not in the first Halloween. Okay. Yeah, it's never alluded to exactly why Michael Myers stalks Laurie Strode. It's more so left up to people's opinions.
Yeah, because we did have a purpose, not anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so interesting. You have to look at it from like 4 years ago. They decided to retcon this again. So they essentially retconned like 9 films out of existence by doing that in the first place. Then they renamed it Halloween, which is the 3rd movie in this franchise that's just titled Halloween. Like, there's no other creativity outside of that. And then apparently this film was also filmed like immediately after the last film. So they already had both of these movies in the can a year ago. And now they're finally releasing this one. So Lewis Casual, Jamie Lee Curtis will be a senile feminist in the new Halloween movie. I mean, you're not that far off.
Jamie Lee Curtis, man. Every time she says something, it's just crazy out of this world shit. Yeah. Like, what were you thinking when you decided to say this? So I think she is going.
Go eat your shit yogurt and shut up.
Diarrhea yogurt.
Yeah. Depends on stock, you know it.
Yeah. But watching the trailer, I think personally my thoughts are it'll be better than Kills, but probably won't be better than 2018. And I just think 2018's okay. It's not really doing anything crazy. Decent. Yeah, it's like I can kind of watch it again if I'm forced to, but I won't go out of my way to watch it. I'd rather watch 4. Like, I'd rather even watch 5. A lot of people hate 5, but I'll watch 5 before I watch 2018.
It's raining. Mommy, it's raining.
Oh, that's 6.
I love that part. I love that part.
Halloween 6, and that's kind of where, like,
fuck it.
Yeah. 6 is interesting. I think he had a good mask.
I love that mask.
So, after watching the trailer itself, I did read the general synopsis, and it's 4 years after the event of last Halloween Kills. Laurie is living with her granddaughter, Allison, and is finishing writing her memoir. Michael Myers hasn't been seen since. So this is 4 years later. Laurie, after allowing...
Whoa. It's 4 years later? I thought this was all happening on the same night.
No. So Halloween 2018 and Kills both happened on the same night. But now we're getting 4 years after the fact.
Yeah, see, I thought that all three of these movies. I thought all 3 of these movies took place in the course in the same night. That's what I thought the whole gimmick was.
So
that was the original idea, but then ended up changing that to where now.
Spoilers.
The last one.
Spoilers. How did you explain him killing her fucking daughter at the end?
Well, he just killed her. We don't know.
Yeah.
They kind of make him like a mythical creature. I mean, he disappears for 4 years. How do you explain this shit?
He's like Bigfoot.
Yeah, Spencer said that the original plan was to have them all 3. Yeah, because now the story is like, I understand the direction they were going to if all 3 of these movies took place in the same night, but now you got the first 2 in the same night, and the 3 is like, oh, we're just going to fast forward another 4 years into the future. So that means we have to make Jamie Lee Curtis look even older now than she did in the first 2 films.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's kind of strange, but they said Laurie, after allowing the specter of Michael to determine and drive her reality for decades, has decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace life. But when a young man, Corey Cunningham, is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror, and will force Laurie to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. So basically, they alluded to this in Kills, where she kind of just lets go of her hatred for Michael and just tries to move on with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of where they're going with it's kind of weird. They're making sort of Michael like this mythological creature that lives on through hatred instead of like an actual person.
See, this is why it doesn't make any sense, because in the events of the last movie, the one right before this one, the whole town essentially corners Michael and beats the crap out of him, but then he just like kills each and every one of them, and then he goes out to find her daughter and kills her.
Yeah,
so we're just supposed to believe that he just killed half the town and dipped, and no one found him after 4 years.
So where they're trying to go.
Fuck this shit I'm out.
But the thing is, they're trying to make it out as though Michael Myers isn't even a being, he's just the essence of evil. And the reason why he kills the whole town is because they embrace evil and hatred for him. And now Jamie Lee Curtis is letting go of her hatred in order to live her life, and that's why essentially she lives.
So now Michael is a demon. He's not just a demon with a knife. Now he's a supernatural being.
Well, he is the boogeyman after all.
The weird thing about it, though, is that I didn't catch this when I did my first impressions, because when I do first impressions on trailers, I don't watch other people's shit. I wait till afterwards. And Zach Hall brought this up to me that if you look here, Michael's hand is perfectly fine. Yeah, so people are saying that it's not Michael. I initially thought that, judging by the trailer, this is like a dream, because all the nods back to the original Halloween just felt too on the nose. So I'm like, I feel like this is fake. I feel like Laurie's just dreaming this shit, and this is what we're seeing, her dream essentially. But people are saying that this really isn't Michael, because in Halloween 2018, she blows off 2 of his fucking fingers. And here it's clearly not the case. So people are thinking that this is the individual Cunningham, whatever. So I don't know.
This is. I mean, or it could just be like one of those scenes where it's just some other guy. Like it's like almost like a fake out in a sense.
Yeah.
Don't give him no air hug. He didn't pay for shit.
Oh shit! Dang.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give my other homie VG Legends another air hug. Thank y'all for coming through. No Future here said Michael said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." Pretty much, bro.
Killed half the town, killed the police, and just was like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna go home for 4 years."
Yeah, it's
like, fuck
I
this
don't know
shit.
what to think, man. It's like at this point, I know not to expect much. I thought that David Gordon Green was a pretty good director when he first took on Halloween, and I was like, I was very optimistic.
You thought.
Yeah, but through the writing and directing, it just shows that I have to like limit my expectations. These movie makers are not very talented. They're not very creative. The entire trilogy is dependent on throwbacks to previous films, starting from Halloween 2018. So I have to accept that these people are pretty simple-minded in terms of creativity, and all they have is Easter eggs. That's what has driven the previous two films, and it seems like it's not going to change, judging by the fact Laurie's dressed up in the blue blouse and basically reliving the old times.
And Lewis says, what's next? He's going to become a dream demon. Do not give them any ideas, because if you don't think that they can make money off of a Michael Myers versus Freddy Krueger movie, they will do it. It'll be Michael Myers versus Freddy Krueger versus Jason in a triple threat match.
Hey,
I don't think they could use Jason, judging by what has happened with the Friday the 13th rights.
Is it a Universal movie?
Huh?
Is it a Universal movie?
So basically with the fight between the creator, the original director, and whatever, it seems like they can now make Friday the 13th movies, but whether Jason can be featured in them is up in the air. I'm not too sure.
Because if Universal owns the rights to them, they can do that.
I don't know who owns the rights anymore. I'm more confused than ever.
Yeah, there's a rights issue with like the character versus the series, because I think they did it separately because they didn't want them to ruin it. But you can argue that it was already ruined well before then. But you can also argue that given modern screenwriters, that was probably a smart idea.
Yeah. Honestly, I love Halloween 2 VG Legends. I love the soundtrack for Halloween 2. A lot of people may come at my head for this, but I enjoy the Halloween 2 soundtrack more than I enjoy the original, because it's like John Carpenter was like, let's do the same soundtrack sort of, but on steroids. And I enjoy those steroids. Give me all of those steroids. That is a soundtrack I listen to quite often. And I guess it's kind of weird because it's supposed to be very murderish. But I enjoy listening to it. Zach Hall said, I think it's funny how the fanboys tell me to stop living in the past by only liking the original, yet it's more like they're still living in the past since they can't let the shit go. It's true. I mean, look, man, I want more movies, but, I'm also nostalgic. I have to accept that. So, the original is still the best.
But we're at the point now where, okay, are you going to try to reboot this again? Because are we going to have another Halloween trilogy in 10 years with Jamie Lee Curtis in a wheelchair fighting off Jason going out there with the stairs like a bad back?
What I'm hoping they do is that he finally kills her, and then they just start a whole new trilogy with the daughter.
I do not want any connection to this shit. I want a clean, I want future Halloween movies, but I want a clean slate with people that actually have creative ideas that are willing to do like a good story with a new protagonist. Not Laurie Strode. Not her granddaughter, like original.
Oh, that's the other thing. It's like, isn't Michael in this sphere supposed to be just as old as she is? So it's like, what kind of workout regimen than he has? That he's like 65 years old and like still murdering people 40 years younger.
Protein, baby. Protein.
Oh my God. But the thing is, I don't understand what was the point of making him old to begin with when he's just going to be like a figment of people's imagination. The basic concept of evil to begin with. Like, why did you even make him old? Just make him the same as he was.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just like it's kind of like an oxymoron.
I mean, Michael at this point has to have at least 4 stars on GTA. So it's like, what is she gonna do with that gun? I mean, they already shot him multiple times in the last movie. He was stabbed, he was beat up with like blunt objects, and he still murdered everybody in town. So it's like, what do you think you're gonna do at this point? Short of like bringing just like what about like one of those like 50 cal like RPGs from like one of the bad guys from like a Call of Duty game or something?
Oh my god, they're gonna drop a fucking nuke on Haddonfield and just wipe it off the face of the planet.
We're gonna have to call in a Harrier.
It's gonna be like a Dragon Ball Z episode where they blow up the fucking side.
Next time on Halloween,
they're gonna have to do the Kamehameha wave and like hit him into the sun. That's the only way you can beat him.
Yeah.
VG Legend
Godzilla.
says, I feel like a big problem with a lot of the movie creators is they keep franchise going too long. They seem to run out of ideas from the original movies and they end up botching the franchises. Yeah, it's just at this point they don't care about the franchise itself. They just need the name to sell their garbage. That's it. Yeah. The name is more valuable than anything else that they can obtain. You have to be real. Like when it comes to actors now, they're not big names anymore. It's just no, that's it. Like you have nothing else besides the name.
In 5 years, they're gonna reboot this, but then Keke Palmer is gonna be the new Laurie Strode, and then they'll find like somebody else to be the fucking the new Michael. And this is actually funny because there's a movie coming out in a couple of months called They Them, which is supposed to be like the first LGBTQ like horror film set like a conversion camp or whatnot. And I was thinking to myself, the only way that they'll make this work, and they don't have the balls to do it because they know that people would bitch, but this be fun, is that you set this as a camp with a bunch of like gay and trans kids, and then it turns out, boom, secret Jason movie. This is a Jason movie the whole time, and now he's just brutally murdered.
If they reboot Halloween,
Jason Warren, you doing God's work?
Jason the bigot.
If they do a reboot of Halloween, and they make it like if they do it with different cast, going for a whole different thing, cast Pam Grier to play Sam Loomis. Just do it. Give it to me. I love Pam Grier. Give me Pam Grier, Sam Loomis. I can live. I will support it. I will shill the chick that played Foxy, the original Foxy Brown, the chick that was Jackie Brown.
I don't remember.
We just watched her with Jawbreaker a couple days ago, so that's why
I will shill so hard for this reboot.
Quick little shout out. Yeah, quick little shout out to Lewis, who I know is behind because he's just now started laughing at my wheelchair joke that I said about 10 minutes ago.
Michael's dark motivation now is he must kill everyone who made GTA Definitive Edition. You're not kidding, bro.
Yes.
You're not kidding, dude. I support that. I would support a film that's like that. But any final thoughts on
this? Michael snaps somebody's neck and you get like the GTA San Andreas Assess theme that pops up.
Any final thoughts on the Halloween Ends trailer?
No.
We're good.
I'm optimistic.
I'm pretty sure this won't be just as bad as the rest of them.
Damn. All right, so now we're gonna get off of movies. Now we're gonna go into comics because one of my favorite YouTubers took it upon himself to essentially make his own comic book, and I'm gonna play a quick trailer just if anybody doesn't know. Young Ripper 5'9".
This will be my piss break. I'll be right back.
Oh my God. Well, please mute yourself. Nobody wants to hear you taking a piss on live stream, okay? But just to discuss it generally, Young Ripper 5'9" is a YouTuber that was a huge fan of Marvel DC Comics. For a few years, he was criticizing how poorly they were representing the characters and actually how poor the stories and just the creativity of Marvel and DC Comics has become. And for a while, he's being criticized. Well, why don't you make your own shit? And so he was like, all right. And he dumped $200,000 of his own money into making his own comic book and having basically every function needed in order to basically own everything for himself. So he has his own printer. He has his own storage warehouse for all this shit. So basically no one can fuck with him. Not people in higher places. He's completely himself in this and no one can stop him. And people are pissed off about it. Personally, I'm so hyped Full disclosure, I pre-ordered a signed comic book from him, as well as a T-shirt for the Rippaverse, the #1 ISOM comic. So this is a trailer where he discusses like why he's doing this and essentially what we're getting.
No audio.
No audio?
Yeah.
How do I get the audio up?
Check your setting. It should already be playing if you're playing it through share stream.
Yeah, I'm playing it through share stream.
Okay.
What do I? Do you know what I have to go to? Audio.
Yeah, make sure it's actually turned up on the player too.
It is. Yeah, it's good. Right here.
Yeah, I mean, I might be able to pull up on my end. So give me 1 second.
All right. Play the sound. Enter. Oh. Well, we still trying to figure this out.
Well, you know that's why you have me here. I gotta carry the whole franchise. just like Ben Simmons, you know. I gotta do everything for self.
Hold on, let me try this again. Share screen. Share system audio.
All right, then I got it up here. So,
do you hear anything now or nah?
Nah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I have it up on mine, so I can pull it up.
So I'll play the trailer.
Are you on mine right now, or? Okay.
Yeah, I put it up.
I'm Eric July.
There you go.
Founder, owner, and writer. Welcome to the Rippaverse. The Rippaverse is the result of a comic book lifer that wanted to be a part of the solution insteed of always griping about the problem. Now, don't get me wrong, this was always a part of my aspirations. However, the current climate certainly sped things up. You've watched some of your favorite comic book characters be bastardized to the point to where they're completely unrecognizable. They're just used as career stepping stones for a lot of writers that don't care about the lore. Some even despise their fans. Those are people that just want to tell stories that represent their social political views, even if they don't make sense for the characters that they're writing. And of course, these mega corporations that control these properties don't exactly make it easy for you to get in and understand what's canon. So maybe it's time for something new. We are a comic book company first and foremost that will never be forgotten no matter how big this venture gets. And we are guided by a set of principles known as the Rippaverse ethic. You will find this on a page in every single book that we release. And it's a set of standards that we certainly want you to hold us to. There are three main things that we will always emphasize. Number one, respect the customer. We aren't owed your dollar, but we love to have you as longtime supporters. It's going to be up to us to keep you interested and invested. Now, anytime there's passion involved, there's going to be those conflicts, but we'll respect you. So as long as you respect us, it's all about reciprocity. Our second point of emphasis is canon and continuity. This is an ever-expanding universe. There's going to be many of characters that will be introduced. But when you buy a book from us, you own a piece of history. It matters. These events will not be erased by way of time travel or some multiversal aspect. And number three, a comprehensive timeline. No matter when you jump into this space, we want to make it easy for you to get caught up on some characters that you're interested in. So we're going to keep the reboots to a minimum. Now, don't worry. We know that picking up the pieces is part of the fun, so we're not going to exactly hold your hand. And while I personally value liberty, we're not going to beat you over the head with on-the-nose current politics and current narratives that will completely contradict what it is that we're trying to do here. So whether you're into our main character in our first book, Isum, or you're into Yaira, or you're interested in all of them, will certainly have you as a customer. Your ethnic background or genetic makeup is wholly irrelevant to us. Now, previously being part of comic book fandoms myself, I understand the importance of them. We'll do our jobs to preserve the sanctity on the business end, and we hope you will help us preserve a more healthy and thriving fandom. If we manage to do that, we're going to be very competitive in this market, and we're going to make our mark on this industry. We're not going to be perfect. Errors will be made, but we won't let that stop us from being great. So visit Rippaverse.com, where we have our own unique store that is tailor-made for our audience. A lot of our stuff will be released in campaign format with limited edition items, and once they're gone, they're gone. We'll be making books that expand across many different genres, so I'm very confident that we'll have something that is right for you in a series that you'll make your favorite. And one last thing. I started this company with no external investors, and that's something that I like to remain true. Sure, we want to expand in many different avenues, video games, animation, maybe even live action movies, but not if it means selling off assets. We only answer to the customer. We don't want to make the same mistake as the other guys.
So he's straight up just throwing shots at all, bro. Straight up. And for me, I'm really excited for this because I used to buy comic books. I remember going to the comic book shop, and at one point I just stopped going because of how egregiously bad it was, and I stopped buying comic books like a few years ago. And it's disappointing what DC and Marvel has devolved into, and a lot of the stuff that he has written in his code of ethics is stuff that Marvel and DC forgot, like respecting the customer, like actually making content that has meaning in continuity. They just shit out like a multiverse here and just timeline changes there, and none of it like means anything in the grand scheme of things. You're just buying fan fiction at this point. And and it's just disappointing to me, and that's why I'm personally excited for this, and I want to see him succeed. And hell, I mean, so far, judging by it right here, he's very successful. His campaign has passed $3 million, and a lot of people get it kind of confused. They think it's a GoFundMe, but he funded it already himself. His site is essentially a pre-order. It's a campaign pre-order, so a lot of people do get that confused. So any of you guys interested in this comic book, or are you
absolutely not? Oh wait, no. No, I mean, like, I've been open about this. So I used to organize events back when I was in California a few years ago, and because I went to many WonderCon, which is the Orange County Comic Con up in Anaheim, and then I did a few years at San Diego Comic Con as well. No, San Diego Comic Con is going on right now. I have no interest in going back to there, but that's aside for topic for another day. And so I mean, I used to like just collect like small little like comic books and whatnot for the last few years. I mean, I pretty much gave them to like my nieces and nephews. It was no big deal. But then I think it was around 2016, 2017 where I stopped buying like the books as much as I was, because it was like, okay, let me Google like the writer of this book and let me see if he has me blocked on Twitter, because he doesn't. Because that's when I started like covering the whole thing with the Comics Gate and your boy Zach and Yellow Flash and all that whole stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, so I mean, I just started like exposing how, you know, all of these like comic book creators were just like really just awful people, like just terrible people online who only care about their ideology. These are people who, you know, only got the jobs because, you know, they were a diversity hire from the Alonzo days, and they just, like I said, as we saw now, I think Spencer put up the story earlier about how they have now not only race swapped Psylocke, but now made her bisexual as well, and she looks nothing like the original character whatsoever. But like I said, that just goes to show you that these mega corporations have absolutely no respect for continuity, no respect for the characters. It's just like, we're in charge now, so this is what you're gonna get. If you don't like this, you're istophobe of whatever the case may be. So. Yeah. And out of all of the comic people that I met throughout those years, the only guy who I would put over is Ralph Telesco, who is the owner of Xenoscope Comics. I don't know if you guys know exactly what Xenoscope is, but I actually met him a couple of times while I was down there in Orange County. He was a really, really cool dude. A little bit of a lefty, but I mean, still we had a good conversation with him last couple of years ago. So he's really like the only guy that I can like really put over. It's like, okay, I know he's a decent dude, but a lot of these other people, like, I'm not so sure about you guys. So I can't really I can't really go at bat for any of the stuff that you guys are pulling out. And because of that, like I said, I don't buy like comic books as much as I used to, or really much at all anymore, because we've all seen the trash that gets printed these days. I mean, who wants to spend money on that?
And a good thing that Zach brings up is that he'll buy older stuff. And if you want to support like your comic book shop directly, buy their old issues. Don't buy the graphic novels that come out with a bunch of the issues put together. Buy the old classic issues, and that's how you directly support your comic book shop. And that's what I do too. Sometimes I'll walk into a comic book shop in my town where I'm close to, and I'll buy a few of the older comic books. I have some over there. You can't really see them, but I love comic books. I love the idea of them, and I'm glad that Young Ripper 59 is bringing apolitical comics and actually trying to do them right. And a big goal that he wanted to achieve was creating an original Black protagonist that that's something that Marvel and DC can't seem to do. It's just they'll take their original Black characters and they'll put them in the white characters' outfits and say that, oh, this is the new whoever. It's like what they did with Captain America. It's like you took an original Black character being Falcon and you put him in the white man's clothes, and it's just like, no, Falcon is amazing as he is. Obviously, Captain America is no longer here in the universe, in the MCU, but let Falcon be his own character and still like hold the values of Captain America without having to don his costume, because Falcon is perfectly capable of being Falcon and being good. But I don't know if any of you guys.
That's not the agenda anymore. Now it's like, no, we need to have a Black Captain America. We need to have a female Thor. We need to have an Asian Hulk. We need to have a Muslim Miss Marvel, because our only concept of writing characters is their outside identity and who they have sex with. And outside of that, you're not going to get. I made this joke many times before just watching the show. It's like, can you remember the last time that in comic books where heroes actually fought villains? Like actual like bad guys, because the only thing I've seen is who's sleeping with who, and we need to beat up some guy who's basically an allegory to a Trump supporter, and he'll be the villain of this series. It's like, but this is the X-Men. But what does that have to do with it? Oh, I'm sorry, the mutants, because X-Men is no longer gender neutral anymore. So refer to them as the mutants now.
It's so painful. Like, I was reading like some of the X-Men comics like a couple of years ago, and they literally directly alluded to Jean Grey, Wolverine, and Cyclops having threesomes together. Yeah. And it's just like, and then it's not Jean being flirty with the two dudes. It's literally Cyclops and Wolverine being flirty with each other, and it's just like, you got to be fucking kidding me with this shit. And
because in their minds, like, we need to put over polyamorous relationships, because we need to prop up a non-traditional relation. Like, why do we need to do that? Explain to me why this needs to happen.
Go ahead, TJ. My bad.
No, I was going to say, I don't think that catering to a population of people that are at the very most 5% is detrimental to sales of any medium at all. Like, it doesn't make sense at all. Like, you can't cater to this group and think that they're the priority when they're the minority, and it shows when they support certain projects and they don't do as well as you would think they would do because they don't care enough.
Yeah, and it's not even just them supporting like the 5%. It's like, you can make like comic books that are for this group of people, but the thing is that they're also spitting in the face of the 95% while they're catering to the 5%, and it's just like, you wonder why your comics book division is dead. entirely at this point. It's laughably bad.
It's very, you can just simply create an original gay, lesbian, trans superhero within the Marvel universe and basically a whole series based on that person, but they know that those series won't do well because what's the audience for those? They don't actually exist. So what they're going to do is that they're going to take the characters that actually are like a Superman or an Iceman or Psylocke, and take those characters like, no, we're going to change them to fit our image. Then when you actually, I tell people to do this, when you have a lot of these like woke television shows, movies, comics, whatever the case may be, look at the writers. And if you see the writer, you see exactly who they are. A lot of these television shows, these comic books are basically just them inserting themselves into like the book. Like it's the same thing with Loki. I think it was like the writer or director, I can't remember exactly which one of Loki, was like, well, I was so happy that we made Loki bisexual. Why? Because she's bisexual. So it was important for her to insert Loki in the series to be bisexual because she wanted a bisexual character like herself to be in the series. Did it actually mean anything in a grander scheme of things of the story? Absolutely not. But they don't care because they're getting a 6-figure job from a major corporation, and these comic books are just a small portion of their portfolios.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like they think that these people's like race, gender, sexuality is character development when it's not. When I was reading this X-Men comic book that they were alluding to this polyamorous relationship, Jean Grey was a tabula rasa, which essentially she's a character. She comes off as a character that was born yesterday, knows nothing, and is an adult. Like that is how fucking soulless her character was.
It matches a lot of the writers who write this stuff. I mean, a lot of the picture of the writers. Yeah,
all they care about is their ideology or their sexuality or this and that, and it's like there's more to characters than that. It doesn't.
I made the comment yesterday because, like I said, this isn't just something that's been going on for a couple of months. This has been something that's been going back now, 5-10 years now, the way that they've been treating comics like this. And I said, look, if any more characters turn out to be gay, the Marvel 616 universe is going to fundamentally collapse as far as its population. Because look, everyone can't be gay and then have a functioning civilization moving forward. It's like if no one's going to have babies, then what do you think is going to happen to the entire population and society going in general? You do understand that's not how the world works, right? But no one really points out that fact because at the end of the day, I think No Future said, they don't support any of these comic books. It's because it's easier for them to go on Twitter and be like, well, you're the bad person if you don't insert comic book here or insert television here or insert movie here. They just want to be the person that browbeats you on the internet so they can be like, see, I'm an ally because I support this thing that I didn't buy. Meanwhile, the actual industry itself is just dying. And like I said, it just goes to show you how fed up people are with this bullshit, because Eric July wouldn't have made $3 million off this shit unless people in the comic book industry, especially fans included, were just absolutely fed up with the way that this industry has been going over the last 10 years.
Yeah, and someone asked Eric July, what if you could say anything to Marvel and DC, then what would you tell them? And he literally just said, keep doing what you're doing because that's how I'm going to make my money.
Yep.
And it's facts, bro. They just been fucking up so long. And it's now he's in a position where he could take advantage of people's fuck ups, and he's doing it. And he has been getting so much hate for this by the people that claim to be the most tolerant, Black supporting individuals. They've done nothing but completely gone at him, calling him the N-word with the hard ER and all.
Oh yeah.
And these are the people that
Uncle Tom and all that good stuff.
Yeah, they constantly call out racism. Meanwhile, they've shown this dude nothing but their hatred of him based upon what he's accomplished and actually showing racial hatred towards him. And it's really not right, just because the thing is, they don't really care about people. They don't care about gay people. They don't care about minorities of any kind. They don't care about if you're a woman dealing with shit. It's just, do you fit into their ideology? And if so, they will defend you. And if you don't, they don't want people to have their own mind. Eric July has proven to me throughout the many, many years that I've been watching his content that he thinks for himself. That's why I appreciate his thought process, because he's willing to go out the box, and he proudly does it. And if anybody dare, I trust him more than I trust most other people, because he has told people, go fuck yourselves if you don't like what I have to say consistently. And that's why I do respect about the dude. That's why I'm supporting him. And that's why I'm interested to see how his comic is. And hopefully the dude, like, his writing is awesome. I like the artwork. He's gotten like talented people behind the project to do art for him and all that. So I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table. And I'm excited to continue to see people just completely basically show their true colors, because every time they say something racist towards him or just wish that he would fail despite him just literally succeeding, they just show that they're not about any of the stuff that they actually say.
No, they're not about it. Then when they claim to be an ally of this insert group here, they hate him because he's a libertarian that calls out progressivism. So the second that one of these people who they claim to protect and claim to be an ally of steps away from their platform, they'll turn into fucking JB Stoner at a 1972 Democrat convention, and they'll start dropping hard R's. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you don't know who JB Stoner is, go Google that one. You'll have no time with that
Google
one.
It. That's great.
But yeah, they'll turn on you in a second. So which just completely tells you they're just completely full of shit. They're only following what they think is popular in their little bubble. Like I said, just keep doing exactly what you're doing. You're gonna run more people away from your platform and then go to other people's platforms. So just double down, triple down, make everyone gay, beat up more Trump supporters in your comic books, do whatever it is that you guys are gonna do. You're only gonna make more people upset, which means more customers for us. Just chase away your own fan base because you're stupid and you can't help yourself.
Yeah. Do you guys have any final thoughts on Rippaverse's comic book?
No.
No, just can support those that want to support you. That's it.
Exactly, man. I'm excited to see him continue to succeed, just because it makes fake people mad. So, but the next topic. Now we're getting into gaming, so we're here for it. And the first topic we're going to talk about is Stray, because this little cat keep on winning.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I saw you, and I think what's her name? Not Hannah Barron, the other one. Heather Annoy was playing this game, so I have no idea outside the two clips that I saw you guys playing this game. But I guess it's like the new popular one that all you Twitch gamers are playing these days.
Hey, the guys that created Garfield should see them. It's still their likeness. He's still there.
But
hey,
yeah,
like
so I played. Oh my god! So I played about, I want to say about 4 hours of Stray on stream. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to the end. It's really not. It's not a long game. The thing I can compare it to is that it kind of reminds me of this game called Journey, and it came out on PS3. So I'm still convincing society to upgrade from his PS3 to anything else at this point. Like, it's time to move on, sir. You have clearly gotten everything. You've squeezed out every drop you can from that fucking PS3, bro.
Let it go, my friend. Let it go.
That thing still have a heartbeat? That's crazy.
As Christopher Titus once said, you keep holding your breath, your ass gonna suffocate. So,
well, you better start swimming so you don't suffocate. Because jeez.
But so far, the game Stray reminds me of Journey, and most people love it, but some people seem to be shitting on it just because it's like the most hyped game right now. It's a game about a cat.
Yeah, you mean certain people like Trey Wells that we may know within our inner circle that said it was like one of the worst games that he's ever played. So, man,
he needs to chill. All right, not everything has to be GTA San Andreas. Okay, brother. I love you, brother. I love you, brother.
Not every every game has to have Dr. Dre soundtrack to it in order to be good.
Yeah, pretty much. But I got the game. I'm happy I got the game so far. It is $30. It seems to be a pretty short experience, but it is $30. But I will say,
fuck that.
I will say, unlike Returnal, the game actually works and doesn't corrupt save file or anything like that. The gameplay is good. A lot of people are saying that the PC version isn't good, but I was playing it at locked 60 on my 3060 and is playing just fine. Occasional frame rate drop. So maybe if you're if your rig is dog water, maybe you might have some problems.
Dog doo-doo water.
Or is it cat water? Ah.
But I feel like they dropped a quality. I've come across no glitches. Everything for the most part is pretty solid.
Okay.
Are you any of y'all planning to get it, or are you kind of just not your thing? You're not a cat fan. I know TJ is
$20 to pick it up.
Dog person. 20.
Where's the dog DLC?
Yeah, if I were to pick it up,
Waka.
get about $5.
Damn!
$5.
Oh man.
Wait.
I'm not at all.
PC people.
You know
man,
what I'm waiting for?
Like to pay at the pump.
I'll wait for 2 years to come right to Game Pass. So wait.
Oh my god. I don't think that game's coming to Game Pass. I got news for you, bro. You have to get
It's not exclusive.
You got to get the PlayStation version of Game Pass. What is it? The PS Plus Premium?
Yeah.
It's not an exclusive game.
All right, so VG, we're gonna get into the whole Last of Us remake at the end of the stream. That's the final topic that we're gonna talk about. Definitely interested to talk about that. Society, by the way, I might send you a link so that we can watch a trailer that Naughty Dog dropped for that. But yeah, we'll get to that.
Boy.
We'll get to that.
Oh joy.
Yeah,
But
the stream started.
Real quick before we move on, TW says, I have a different opinion, so sue me. Don't assume that just because you don't have any money that we won't sue you. We may sue you out of spite because we're petty as fuck. So don't start big licking me over there and then the chat over there, brother.
Man, I got money to sue nobody. We can go outside and fight. That's about it.
We'll go to court and lose money just out of spite. So don't.
Oh, TW says he plays a lot of games. That game's just boring. Yeah, it's one of those games where it's just a chill experience. Like I said, it's kind of in the same vein as Journey. Journey is a game that a lot of people love, but it's really not
a game.
It is really just a chilled out experience. Maybe smoke a little something, or like have a little drink, and it'll be a little more exciting then when shit is like all over the place.
Smoke all your your catnip.
Stray is not on Game Pass. It's not on Xbox at all. Actually, they have, it's console exclusive to PlayStation, but it's also on PC. And yes, meow, sir. Yes,
no, I'll play it.
I will say, full disclaimer, my best friend has been indoctrinating me into Cat Gang, so maybe that has a slight influence on my enjoyment of this game. I see nothing but cat TikToks and videos and memes all day, every day. But I will say this: what has been interesting about Stray is the fact that this Twitter account has spawned from Stray, and it's literally just video after video of people's cats watching the game. And they're...
Did you see the one?
The
golden retriever chasing the TV? That's just hilarious.
Yes, there's one where the dog is just like, I need this cat. I'm about to eat this little bastard. But they are really into it. Yeah, they are really...
Cat's like, look at this bitch motherfucker.
Look, man, I think it's amazing that not only gamers can share this game, but also cats as well. They have been thoroughly loving this game. Probably more than TW has, I'll say that. It's pretty cool. I like that. And this account like blew up overnight. Yeah, look at them. They're just completely into it. But I like that.
They're like the humans, they're on to us.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's something that you can share with your furry significant other, whoever that may be. But overall, I've been enjoying it. I hope that if anybody has gotten it, that they're enjoying it too. And fuck the haters, man. This game is an 1,000 out of 10, and it is game of the year, right? So you can gargle on Stray's kitty litter. That's all I have to say about that, all right? Any haters out there?
Sponsored by Friskies. Get out of here.
Sponsored by
all right, go for it, TW. You can make all the hate videos you want. I support your hate videos, man. I love them. Oh no!
Tell him to ban Ozzy from playing this game.
You can't play it. Yeah, we're gonna cancel your Game Pass by force. Awesome.
No, Future, we're gonna get it. That's gonna be perfect.
BG wants a game about dogs. Hey, I'm all for it, man. I support the furry creatures we have.
I want to give up monkeys.
We have a dog. I have a dog in my house, so I'm by default.
There's a movie that I watched earlier this year called Gold with Zac Efron, and the ending of the movie, he gets eaten to death by a pack of wild, hungry dogs in Australia. So that was fun.
Oh my god,
that's cool.
Hustling says he hasn't played it yet, but he's down for a good puzzle game. It's like subtle. It's like subtle puzzles. It's not like crazy or anything. I mean, you may get like a little stuck here and there, but it's like subtle puzzles. So it's not. I know a lot of people get turned off about puzzle games pretty fast, but I will say give it a try. It's really not that bad. But any final thoughts on Stray and its success? It's actually the publisher's most successful game thus far. So that's cool, man. I think it's a good game.
Next.
All right.
Ninja Turtles comes out August 30th.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay, more Ninja Turtles. So the next topic at hand is
a real animal that matters.
We're gonna talk about Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man. Ninja Turtles.
Oh my god. So
which Spider-Man are we talking about? Are we talking OG Spider-Man? Are we talking about like Miles Morales? We're talking about like Dead Gwen, or we're talking about
original Spider-Man. The Spider-Man.
Spider-Pig.
So basically, PlayStation dropped a game called Marvel's Spider-Man. It came out 2018, and it's being ported to PC now. It's a topic of discussion that, especially amongst fanboys, that putting PlayStation exclusive games on the PC should be a no-go, according to PlayStation fanboys, but. Me as a PC gamer and TJ Combo X as also a PC gamer, we support this shit. We want to watch Sony ponies cry at losing their exclusives, and they will live on to become the better versions of all the games that do come to the PC platform if not now, then in due time. But so the trailer came out for the PC version of Marvel Spider-Man. And it has a lot of great features. It has unlocked frame rate, graphics settings is pretty good. It has DLSS support, ray trace reflections, and improved shadows, ultra-wide monitor support. So I know TJ, you into that shit. And customizable controls. And it's dropping August 12th. Now, it was a topic of discussion, the PC specs for it. And a lot of fanboys, we'll take it here. A lot of fanboys is like, 90% of PC gamers going to be playing the worst version than the PS5. Best get upgraded to the 3080 cheapskates. And it's just like, bro, are we really this petty?
Yes,
we went from PC will never get PlayStation's exclusives to now, it takes a lot to run these games on the PC. And we actually want them to run shitty for everyone on PC. Look, as a real fan of these games, I want as many people to experience the games as possible. And a lot of PlayStation fanboys aren't really like that. I don't know if you want to chime in on this, TJ.
I mean, no fanboy wants to have their respective console games available on a PC platform. And I get it. I want y'all to cry. I need you to cry. Because I water parts of my PC. So cry. I will use your tears to nicely cool my PC while I play your favorite games. Thank you. I appreciate you. I do.
Yeah. Hustle and Motivate says Spider-Man on PC has some great features. It is. Yeah, and to be fair, it is beefy. Like, you have to have a decent rig to run this. If you're running some bullshit, you're going to have problems. But for me, I'm looking at this right here. And it's saying at 4K 60 FPS for very high settings. Now, I don't have a 4K monitor, so I'm going to be running that shit at 2K. And they say it's a 3070. I have a 3060. So at 2K, that should be okay. It's not CPU intensive, so I could stream that. So that won't be a problem. And the only thing that's going to be an issue is possibly the RAM, because I do have 16 gigabytes. And maybe the graphics card. I'll be maxing out my graphics card, which is fine. But this is very doable. I don't really need ray tracing. I'd rather go for the higher frame rates. Now, I would like for it to be at 2K.
Yeah, ray tracing is not a requirement for me at all. Like, it's not. It's fine. Like, it's cool to look at, but it's not like a deal breaker. I can definitely turn it off, and I have a decent enough specs to be able to run this game. I will be running it ultra wide, 3440 by 1440p. So that is, some people consider it 3K, or yeah. So it's not.
I support it, bro.
So
yeah,
but the RAM, it's not a big deal. I already have 32 gigs, so that's not an issue for me. Yeah, and the CPU is not an issue either. Like, the graphics card is probably thing that would bother me just due to me having a 2080, but I can still run this game and still get the frame rate I want.
2080 is more than enough to run this game.
Yeah.
Your 2080 is better than my 3060, so you're fine.
Allegedly. No, I haven't looked at the stat. I haven't looked at the specs, but I'm sure it is. But the 2080 is still getting some it's still pumping some muscle for some of these games. So
yeah, no doubt. You'd be alright. But yeah, are you gonna get this day one? If all things pan out for me, I'll be alright. I'll get it day one. Someone support it.
I'm not getting it day one.
Yeah, you gonna wait. Oh man. You PC gamers, man, I'm gonna have to rip on y'all too. Y'all don't like to pay.
It's not even that. How do I look getting this game day one? It's a $60 game, mind you. Why would I pay $60 for a game that? And thank you, Best Buy, for giving me the upgraded version of the Miles Morales game with the free Spider-Man remastered on there for free. Yeah. Why would I want to pay full price for a game that I received for free and that I also paid full price for on the PS4 as well? So that would be me basically double dipping, and I'm not doing that again.
Well, I'm a professional double dipper. I do like to wait for sales though.
Yeah, but, I like sales for games that that I've already played. So if anything that I played that has already been previously beaten on a console, I want that on PC for the price of possibly $3.99, but we're not doing that.
$3.99. I ain't gonna steal it. I'm gonna support them because I want them to bring more of their games over.
At the end of the day,
it's another notch crossed off Sony's exclusive list. I think the only one left is Ghost of Tsushima at this point, right?
No, the one that will really bother the ponies. I don't like calling them ponies, but it just fits.
Ragnarok.
But if Bloodborne were to make its way to PC, that's really gonna upset them.
But I don't think they would be that upset because they probably get a PS5 version of it as well. So it's like it'd be kind of like a double win, I guess. But they ain't getting nothing at a like Spider-Man coming over to PC. It's not like they ain't getting nothing out of it. So if Bloodborne does come to PC as well as PlayStation 5, I mean, they'll be a little salty, but I think that they'll get over it because they're getting what they want to.
Yeah, so PlayStation, they hired, they bought Nexus. I think Nexus is the name, I believe. They bought them strictly to remaster all of these games. So when you look at who the developers are, you see Insomniac and then you see Nexus because they handle all of the remasters. And I think they're doing, you see them at the bottom right there, but they handle all of those. So they were strictly hired just for that. And I would imagine that Bluepoint will be doing the same thing as well in terms of doing remakes.
Yeah. I heard that Bluepoint might be working on their own unique title this time around. That would be interesting.
I've heard two different things. I've heard they're working on their own game, and I've also heard that they're working on a previous, like an IP, like a Sony IP that is being brought back as a remake.
Yeah. I'm hoping, from what I heard, it might be the Legends of Very Good remake.
That would be pretty insane. I would like for them to do that because I never got to play that game. But imagine like a shot-for-shot remake of that. Like that would be day one because that's the game that I have wanted to play that I never got the chance to.
Yeah,
but,
you have people that. I was going to say you have people. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say you need to join the PC Master Race officially with your own rig, homie. I support it. Can't wait for you. All right, go ahead, TJ. My bad.
Yeah, I was going to say there's still a base of people that enjoy JRPGs that are still turn-based. I understand that people have, things in regards to the new Final Fantasy and, the new, Final Fantasy 7 as well as 16, where turn-based is almost being like pushed to the side. So if a Legend of Dragoon were to come out and be remade, people that do enjoy those turn-based style games would then be in support of that type of game being brought back.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, I don't think it needs to be like a massive remake by any means. Like, you could do a smaller scale remake as long as it's still turn-based. I think that the fact that this is a PS1 game we're talking about, I think that in itself, the fact that people can now access this game and it is shot for shot, it's well done, it looks pretty nice. It doesn't have to be super grand in scale by any means. Just make it look good, be remade from the ground up, and it's to the fans, man, because this is the old ass game. Like, this is something that warrants a remake. Something like The Last of Us doesn't really.
All right.
But, any final thoughts on this? Anything you want to say to the PlayStation, the ponies, about taking another one of the exclusives?
All fanboys suck.
This is true.
I got a PS3, so I don't even know why we're even talking about this one.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this guy.
You need to buy a Steam Deck, damn it. You can play Spider-Man.
How do you play with that hardware controller?
Damn.
I mean, I played with it for like 15 years, so it's held up pretty well.
It's like sponsored by Playmates. Buy the new system.
Let me see if I can. I don't think I have my Sega one on me, but I do have my 64 controller still here. So, I mean, there you go. I still have this going. So.
I think it's an abomination.
Yeah,
it is.
I don't know where my
you need to grow a third hand just to use it properly.
It's the fucking bettering controller.
All right,
yeah.
So I think we're gonna move on to the final topic tonight, and that is The Last of Us.
Oh, motherfucker! Oh, never mind.
Pretty much, dude. But I am gonna send a link because apparently PlayStation just dropped a trailer that focuses on features and gameplay. So I'm gonna send that in the chat, and if you could screen it for me, Society. But
oh yeah, to just expect me to do all the work. Yeah, sure.
I mean, you haven't been doing much. Shit.
If not, you're gonna get fired.
Oh my god!
Just carrying the whole team on my back like I normally do. But yeah, no, that's fine. I got it. You'll hear me whining and complaining like a little bitch.
Hey, listen, PlayStation 3, working.
Word. Every time your fucking PS3 turns on, it farts out dust.
Yeah.
Please kill me. Please.
My shit's still spinning. No.
But people are really upset because a leak came out showcasing the gameplay for The Last of Us Part 1 remake, and it's interesting that we didn't catch on to this earlier because normally when PlayStation showcases like games, they immediately show gameplay. They don't really withhold, and they did not show gameplay for this game. They only showed the trailer for the official announcement, which was just in-game cutscenes. And so, there goes Oz. But it's just interesting because now they're saying that the combat is similar to The Last of Us Part 1, and it'll feature accessibility options that are up to par with The Last of Us Part 2.
This is what I don't. So talk to this to me because I don't understand this whole trend with video game remakes. So it's the exact same game that came out like 10 years ago, but they just made the buildings a little more shinier than they were before. Is that essentially what's happening here?
So you have a PS3. So did you end up playing The Last of Us?
I actually did.
And how did you like
it?
It was all right. I mean, I liked it more for its like survival style. It felt like kind of like a almost a old school like Resident Evil type feel for me. So yeah.
And TJ, you played it as well.
I played it multiple times. Yes.
Yep, and that's your jam, right?
I won't go that far, but yeah, the first one, yes. Second one, not so much.
Yes.
I don't really acknowledge the second one very much.
Well, no one does. For me, like the way that I see these video game remakes, it's like after Avatar came out and they kind of repopularized the whole 3D thing, that everyone else just started making their movies in 3D, but it wasn't like real 3D. It's like they went in and post to be like, oh, let's try to make this a little 3D-ish so that we can justify an extra like $4 for a movie ticket. So.
I don't have an issue with remakes. I have an issue with remasters to a degree. This one, remake, is so. It just looks like a new coat of paint. It doesn't look like it's actually like they show you that there's differences, but it's so minute that it doesn't even make any difference in regards to the experience.
Yeah, it seems like so from the leaks, they leaked out gameplay. We haven't seen gameplay this far, but it shows that the gameplay does seem to be just like the original, or at least so close to it that I could barely tell the difference. Now, The Last of Us Part 2, I don't like the story, but the gameplay is amazing because you have like a dodge mechanic, you can go prone, like I think you could jump. Like there's little things, like they added things that definitely expanded on the gameplay. And our boy Blake, he was like, yeah, I love playing that game like it's an action film because of how good the mechanics are and how much of an improvement they are from the original The Last of Us game. And so people were expecting this remake of The Last of Us Part 1 to feature the same kind of gameplay from The Last of Us Part 2. It almost seemed like it would be like the best of both worlds, where you get The Last of Us Part 1 story with The Last of Us Part 2 gameplay. And it doesn't seem like, from the leaks, it seems like that isn't necessarily the case. And I do want to check out this trailer that Naughty Dog posted. I mean, it could be, but they did just drop this trailer where they do talk about the features and the gameplay. So I do want to check this shit out. So you can play it whenever you're ready, Society. Let's just see what they have to say.
PlayStation. Hey, it's the guy that we killed in the thing.
More than 2 years ago, when we were finishing Last of Us Part 2, and we're working on those flashbacks within that scene for the first game, we got excited with the idea of like, oh man, what if we made The Last of Us Part 1 to look as good, if not better, than what we have done with Last of Us Part 2, which we really pushed the boundaries of like what we could do from gameplay and a graphical standpoint, and felt like if we do that, we could actually come even closer to our original vision of what the first game would have been had we not been constrained by technology.
The original creative vision of The Last of Us, I think in a lot of ways was larger than what the PlayStation 3 was capable of.
It was ambitious.
The tech of the PS5, it's like an open box of tools and goodies that we can play from and draw from. The 4K, HDR, improved haptics, 60 frames, help us to reimagine The Last of Us.
I'm hearing about visuals. I'm not hearing about gameplay.
Opportunities to rebuild our characters at the highest fidelity.
Ooh, pretty Wyatt. That's what
Not only are the characters more detailed, I mean down to the irises and the pupil depth. You know, you fall into the eyes of the characters.
We're not going to be looking at.
Aside from that, the facial animation is just way more believable. Like all the nuances, all the little subtle reactions, glances, glares, right? Like you get all of it almost closer to sort of the original performances.
So no matter what you stick to me, trailer. Like they're not talking about any of that.
Glue. Got it. Good.
You're able now to not only just have the highest fidelity characters in the cutscene,
I also notice how they made some of the characters
the same character, so now we can do these seamless transitions in and out. Every part of the game has benefited from seamless transitions and emotional scripting.
We don't want that male gaze.
Our stories happen in gameplay, on a stick.
She knew my mom.
I don't see a fucking
all
difference.
This stuff is designed to keep you constantly in this world.
Riley, come here. Now you got this.
The lesbian DLC.
One of the things that the PlayStation 5 is really enabling is that we're able to have a density of physics objects in a scene that we could never do before. Like, this has always been the dream, is to have this number of bumpables, chippables, breakables, destructible objects in a scene. It just makes the world feel rich, makes it feel lived in.
Oh, look at the light.
The materials can have the properties that you'd expect. The turret truck in Pittsburgh, when it's firing at you and it's just ripping apart the concrete and sending objects flying left and right.
Seeing things break. Like, there's fear. There's a real fear that it invokes.
And it's giving us a much more dynamic range of gameplay to play with.
Surround him!
Our AI tech has just increased incredibly. What we were building the basis off of was The Last of Us Part 2's AI. And it has sophisticated systems for things like the fundamental knowledge model of how these NPCs perceive and understand what the player is much more sophisticated.
Now how the enemies are communicating with each other, how they're chasing you, how they're flanking you, how intense that fight feels. It's so much more rewarding coming out of it from the other side.
Yeah, that would be somewhat important.
Get out!
One of the other big AI improvements is the buddies. The buddies technology that we developed for The Last of Us Part 2 has this very sophisticated understanding of, like, okay, this is where the enemies can see their exposure. We not only have exposure, we have future exposure. So buddies can know, okay, that enemy is walking forward and they're about to round this corner. So in 3 seconds, that corner is going to be exposed. So I'd better move now to avoid this enemy seeing me. This really lets the buddies make very complex decisions and maintain that feeling of stealth much more believably. Another big enhancement to the gameplay is that we have this technology called motion matching. Motion matching is this technology that's basically using logic that tries to match the desired movement to a bucket of hundreds of animations. A mocapped actor has gone in and run this whole gauntlet of movements to get a really full set of all the different ways a person can move. And then it's basically every frame trying to find the best matching animation that fits the path of where the character is going to go. And this motion model just gives this really seamless sense of transition. The player's movement is just a lot cleaner. It's this really smooth, organic movement through the space.
First, we just had to build that core experience. And then beyond that, we wanted to add several features that fans have been asking for. For example, we now have a permadeath mode. Along that, we've added a brand new speedrun mode, so players can time themselves. There's a whole community of gamers that just want to see how fast they can play through this game. Beyond that, we added a bunch more of unlockables. So there's all these different outfits for Ellie and Joel that people can unlock. A model viewer mode, so people can really appreciate the details. We added award-winning accessibility features.
Every single accessibility option that we offer, that's a barrier removed for someone.
As she surveys the apartment, her eyes wander to Joel. She steps past the couch. He wears the wristwatch Sarah gifted him, which now has a cracked face.
To my knowledge, this is the first PlayStation game that has audio description built into the game, built into the cinematics.
Now it's nighttime.
That's kind of cool.
Joel stirs in his sleep.
And that's really the way we've tried to push the frontier of accessibility on this game.
Joel scratches his ass and sniffs it.
So much of the identity of The Last of Us.
We had a mocap actor scratch his ass with perfection.
Yo, I want you to fucking do that.
We
to
revamped
the sex scene in part
completely the art direction. You know, everything from these expansive vistas that not only are they beautiful, but you feel the environments. You feel the environments in a much more visceral way. The rooftops overlooking the Capitol building, for example, like just the breath of fresh air when you go up there and you just like, you feel that sort of release in tension. And then to juxtapose that down in the tunnels in the wilds, and you get that dank, flooded tunnel feel, that humidity, you can actually feel it. All these environments are just completely reimagined.
Can you feel it?
Now we got our engine on the PS5, those haptics, the 3D audio, the fast loading. It really creates a much more immersive, and because of that, much more emotional experience.
One of the things I absolutely love with the 3D audio in The Last of Us Part 1 is being able to hear an enemy before they sneak up on you. And trying to do a stalker fight with the 3D audio is just so much fun. You're hearing them skitter around in a different room, and you're hearing them trying to get up behind you.
You know what I'm noticing here is that they're essentially bragging about like
having
minor
that two-part
details
reaction,
and, like, the
like
audio
hearing,
and the visuals
turning, seeing,
won't even notice
reacting.
when you're
It's
playing
just
the game.
really
It'll still
heightens
feel like
that
you're
sense
playing
of
the
just being
exact same
grounded. You are
game.
in this character.
The only
You are in
difference
this
is that you're
world.
supposed to be playing it on an updated console, which is already going to have updated
Now,
visuals because you're
with the
not playing this
PlayStation
on
5,
PS3,
the amount
you're
of
playing this on
control
PS5, so.
that developers have over the DualSense, it's really, really cool. All the guns in the game have a variable amount of resistance on the triggers when you aim them.
All
The
they
way
need
it
to
works
do
with
is
bow
add 60
is that at the
frames,
very beginning, when they're starting to draw the bow, there's a
remaster,
little
and
bit
that's
of
it.
resistance.
You don't need all this
And
stupid
then
extra
as
shit.
the bow gets
with the
tauter and
PS4
tauter, the
version.
amount of resistance is increasing. And then when you release the bow, you're also getting that resistance going out of the trigger. When you are aiming and
cool.
firing the shotgun, you're going to get a haptic vibration on the shot. And then what I think is one of the ways that the DualSense really advances things is you're going to get a haptic vibration on the pump of the shotgun. And what's much more sophisticated about that on the DualSense is that in effect has a little like speaker in it. And it's playing an audio file that comes through in the vibrations. And those two beats is what you're going to feel on the controller.
Yeah, I was turned off. You can hear.
This also ties in to the new workbench animations. So if you're seeing Joel taking apart a gun or screwing something in or putting a new stock on a gun, that moment where he's like jamming that on, you're going to get that haptic feedback on that. We have, haptics all across the board, for all the moments you kind of expect for clambering, jumping, landing, meleeing, getting meleeed, like all those kind of high intensity moments we have represented in the haptics. What I personally absolutely adore is the way we can enhance the really like quiet, subtle moments of gameplay. So it's like when Joel goes in to pet the giraffe, getting that little light touch on the haptics as he's petting the giraffe.
Toward the end of the game, that's
To me, that's the essence of The Last of Us. It's the high tension moments, it's the low tension moments, it's all of it feeling grounded. It's you're feeling immersed in this world. It's all about bringing you along with that story
Look at the
in as
giraffe
many ways as
taking
we
a
can.
massive
And that's
shit.
what the new technology on the PlayStation
You know
5
what
is
this
allowing.
is? This is the equivalent. This is the equivalent of when you go to Best Buy and they're trying to like sell you like those big brand new like $10,000 televisions.
Jury's still out.
Playing, like,
There's something special about that core experience of playing as Joel and Ellie on this journey, and to take that experience and really honor it.
Basically, what they're doing
keep
is
the
they're showing off
authenticity
a
of
bunch of videos to make
but elevate it in every way possible, whether it's pipeline, whether it's art direction, whether it's technology, everything that allows us to make that experience better. Not different, extremely better.
It's the same game.
That's why, to me, this is the definitive way to play The Last of Us.
It's the ending game. I'm sorry, this is a waste of time.
If they wanted this to be successful, they should have done a remake of Last of Us 2 where Joel doesn't die, and then they don't have the Scott Steiner's character. So,
all right, guys. So
no, fuck it. Just replace it with Scott Steiner. That'd be fucking great.
Let Scott Steiner in a wig. Just be Scott Steiner.
I'm definitely interested.
He's just doing push-ups in the middle of the game for no reason.
I'm interested to get TJ's opinion, like unbiasedly, before we fucking go into this. Like, do you think this is worth the asking price of $70?
No.
No.
It's not at all. Not at all. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think.
He's like, "What's up, freaks?" He's close like sorry. Done.
They said a lot of things that sound great on paper. They did a nice job of basically trying to paint a picture of we've done all of this work to make this look like it's worth the asking price, and it's still not that in my mind. You can't convince me to pay another full price for a game that's already been played on 2 different platforms already. And essentially the format for doing this comes from a Grand Theft Auto spanning across multiple platforms and doing very little to make the game look better, but still giving you the same product. And that's ultimately what this is.
And here's the thing. So, do I think the game is worth $70? Fuck no. But I will say this: I paid $10 for the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection for the upgrade. I paid the $10 for the GTA 5 next gen upgrade. I'll pay $20 for this, but I would not pay any fucking more than that. And that's because now it has in-game cutscenes, and I know that a lot of work goes into doing that. So I get that. So I'll pay $20 more with the fact that I already own the PS4 version. I should be able to pop that PS4 disc into my fucking PS5, and then it'll tell me, oh, do you want to pay that $20 for the upgrade? And I'll pay that. But there is no fucking way I would ever even consider paying $70 for this. They hilariously enough called this The Last of Us Part 1 rebuilt for PS5 features and gameplay trailer. They did absolutely no talking about gameplay. They included features, they talked about physics, but when it comes down to it, the gameplay is still the same fucking shit. And judging from like the videos that leaked out, it doesn't even seem like the AI is necessarily that intelligent anyway. They're kind of doing a lot of the same bullshit they were doing. So do I think that they upgraded the AI? Yes. Do I think it's really that substantial? I don't really know. In maybe in terms of coding, yes. But from what I saw, I don't really think so. It might make a little bit of a difference, but not enough to warrant $70. That is insane to me. I am paying.
Well, I mean, if they actually put the money towards like improving like gameplay aspects that actually matter, then how are they going to make money by charging you $70 to play the same game again? Did you ever think about that?
Sure.
I bet you don't have an MBA from a professional business school now, do you?
That's right. Uh-huh.
I mean, they're asking for more money than ever before. And the thing is, a lot of people are comparing this to Demon Souls, the remake. Yeah. And I paid $70 for this. And to be fair, Demon Souls is a game that is missed. It was stuck on the PS3, and it was completely remade from the ground up, dedicatedly by Bluepoint. And the thing that separates this Demon Souls remake from The Last of Us Part 1 remaster, I'm not calling that bullshit a remake anymore, is the fact that the game was missed, and then if you manage to backtrack and go play that game on PS3, it plays like dog water. It doesn't even play at 30 FPS. I've seen gameplay of that shit, and it's like, damn, yeah, this warrants a remake because it is an iconic game that literally has created like a subgenre at this point. Like, people love the Souls games, and there's tons and tons of games that want to be like Souls games. It has created a subgenre. So I think that Demon Souls does warrant a remake like that. Whereas The Last of Us, you have it on the PS3. You have the remaster on the PS4. Now they're putting it on the PS5. I could just pop in the fucking remaster on the PS4 and play it on the PS5. There's nothing to be missed here. They're not adding the Last of Us Part 2 gameplay to it. It's still the same fucking gameplay, except it has little pretty things added to it. It just looks prettier. At the end of the day, it doesn't warrant the $70 price increase. And then on top of it all, the thing that people have been trying to defend, they do not include the fucking multiplayer in it. And they want more money. I paid I think $50 for The Last of Us remaster on the PS4. And that was a complete remaster. It was 60 FPS. It included the multiplayer. It was good. I think it was still a little bit expensive, but I was willing to pay for it because I wanted that 60 FPS, wanted that performance boost. There's no performance boost to be had here. The game's going to run at 60, at least I hope. And Naughty Dog should be ashamed of themselves for really asking $70 for the same fucking game. And now it's going to be a third time they're selling it to us. They could have been working on something else. And instead, they chose to do this fucking sloppy bullshit and just literally just do the same thing over and over and over again.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I was too busy lighting my cigar with $100 bill. What were you saying?
So you're gonna buy a PS5 and buy The Last of Us Part 1 at $70 since you got it like that?
No, because I'm not on crack like some people. Like I said, the whole concept of the remake just blows my mind, because this is essentially what happens now. These lazy studios have gotten to a point where it's like, hey, we can make a quick buck by shining up this turd and re-releasing it for more money than we originally sold the first game for. And if they buy it, then I mean, hey, that's more money for us, and we didn't have to do half the work or even a quarter of the work that we did when we actually made the damn game in the first place. So,
yeah, at this point, I think Naughty Dog's just laughing in our faces because they know that Sony ponies are fucking simps, and they'll gargle Naughty Dog's balls. Like, I still seen even today, you know, the leaks were proven true, and there are people that are just like, I don't care what you say, don't try and discourage me from buying the game that I want. It's like, okay, but you're literally buying the same game for a third fucking time, you moron. Like, you know, like you can accept that two things can be true at once. Yes, you could still buy the fucking game, but the second thing is, yes, you're an idiot for still buying the same game for a third time and expecting it to somehow not criticize it for being the same fucking game. At least Naughty Dog, be a little more honest with what you're doing, because right now the price increase is just insane, and they think that their shit doesn't stink.
Well, keep in mind, we're in an age where simps pay like $5,000 to their favorite like Twitch girl, and she takes that money and buys a new car for her boyfriend. So, I mean, you gotta look at that
bathwater, folks. Buy that bathwater.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Go for it, TJ.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Even with all the improvements with the game, I bought it on the PS3 full price. I bought it, I think, discounted on the PS4. This one, I'll buy it again, but it'll be $5 on PC. That's the limit that I have for a game that I would triple dip on at that point.
Yeah, so let's just say, you know, for the sake of just the thought process, what if the game had the Last of Us 2 gameplay? What if it had the multiplayer? What if it, you know, it has all these same things that they're boasting? The game is pristine. It's the best it's ever been. They went well above and beyond what Naughty Dog is known for, and gave you everything you would want from a remake like this. Would you pay the $70?
No,
just because it's the third time they're releasing this game.
Yes, so there's no reason for me to end this. If it had multiplayer, it would warrant some of that price tag, but because it's just strictly single player, there's no reason for you to pay full price for a game.
I have a question.
But if it had the multiplayer and you could play that glorious gameplay from The Last of Us Part 2 in a multiplayer, you still wouldn't bite?
Nope.
Damn. All right.
I got a question. What if Joel and Ellie just so happen to go into another multiplayer game? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Would you buy those characters?
No.
Oh yes, you will. Oh, come on.
I would buy Joel. I don't think I would buy it. I don't like Ellie anymore.
I don't know what game you're referring to, but I still wouldn't do that.
Oh, the Forts of Night, sir. The Forts of Night.
I don't buy DLC for Fortnite.
Damn. I haven't bought any lately. I haven't even engaged.
But what if it was Ninja Turtles?
I said I would consider it if it was in Fortnite. Yeah. Having pull the trigger on anything related to that game. To get the DLC for Fall Guys that I had purchased years ago back on my Epic account. So no, I'm not doing it.
Hey TJ, No Future definitely spitting some facts that I know you can respect. He said, want to play an actual good definitive edition, Sleeping Dogs?
Absolutely. I triple dipped on that game too.
Yeah.
I have and I have the PC version.
Yeah, I have it on PS3, PS4, and PC as well. I have it on Steam. It's a great game.
Fuck yeah.
So the answer is thumbs down, right? That's how we're going with.
Yeah, it's Fortnite. That's what's Fortnite.
Oh my god! Oh, I don't think I can put that one up on YouTube. Let's just say I don't disagree with you, Lewis. All right. But yes, basically, moral of the story is stop gargling Naughty Dog's ball sack Sony fanboys, because now they're treating you like the simps you deserve to be treated like. Fucking wise up, dudes. Fucking wise up.
They're treating you like Amaranth, so grow a fucking set and stop being such a goddamn simp.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm getting rammed. I want to be doing the ramming. Being rammed.
Being rammed. Yeah, Sony's balls are banging the bottom of their chin.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, like the only positives I can say is that they added the same thing, like the customization of the weapons from The Last of Us Part 2. That's a positive. The accessibility features are a positive. The haptic feedback and audio audio upgrades are positive, but that does not warrant a $70 price tag. It does not, and I don't care what anybody says. I will not buy this game at 70. I don't even think I can't say for sure if I wouldn't buy it at all.
It's not even that. They're asking for $70 after they spit in everyone's face with the fucking Last of Us 2. So it's like, it's not even like the fans already have a bad taste in their mouth based on that game. And now it's like, oh, can you please give us more money?
Yeah. I know a lot of people are disappointed by this, and it is disappointing because we expect better. Naughty Dog should realize that they are people expect very high things from them. And if they don't deliver, well, you're going to fall. I mean, that's just what it is. I think that this does depreciate Naughty Dog's stock in the game. And it was already pretty bad with The Last of Us Part 2 because they kind of just did spit in the face of fans. And they did it. They purposely, what kills me is that, okay, you chose to make a divisive game with The Last of Us Part 2. Okay, that's fine. But then, and they admitted to that as well. But then when the divisive game caused the fracture in the community, then they were mad at the people that didn't get on board. So it's like you freely chose to make something you knew was going to be divisive, then are angry that the fans are divided by it. It doesn't add up. Like, fucking... Like, use your fucking brain.
That's their MO, though. It's that they're going to put something out that they know is going to piss people off, but they got the media on their side, so they'll just let the media attack dollars be like, oh, yeah, these people are just bad people. Then you wonder why your sales went up. It's like, what happened? It's because you called your customers bad people. Like, maybe that's the reason why they didn't buy your stupid shit, dumbass.
Yeah, and it's just stupid how they like to play games. Make the games. Don't play games.
Especially when they're not good at it.
I mean, look, I think Naughty Dog is a very talented company. They have been one of the few companies that do push gaming, because The Last of Us Part 2's gameplay is insane.
It is.
It really is impressive. And I personally didn't finish the game just because I hate the character I'm playing as so fucking much. And that's not even Abby. I didn't even get to Abby. I didn't even get to Scott Steiner with a ponytail. I was sick and disgusted with Ellie, the way she acts. She just acts like this fucking insufferable bitch. And it's just like, look, man, Ellie in the first game she was like this spunky kid, had slick talk to say, but she was kind of cool with the way she was saying it. Now it's just insufferable teenager that fucking, it just acts like a bitch. And it's just like, I don't care about you. You're making me play as somebody I want to die in the game. And that's just not how you make protagonists. Like, you have to at least, if you're not going to make them likable, you have to at least make them reasonable. And to me, Ellie's not very reasonable in the game. I don't give a shit about her. But yeah, guys. Do you guys have anything else to say about The Last of Us Part 1 remaster? It's not a remake.
You know what games don't cost $70? PS3 games. So just stick with the PS3. Yeah.
I know. So
less than PS3 games, PC games. So yeah, get you a
Yes, PC Master Race overall.
Absolutely.
I say that as I'm wearing the PlayStation hat. But I people like to criticize people that wear like PlayStation related shit, and it's like, yeah, but like, here's the thing. I don't wear the modern symbol. I wear this colored symbol for a reason. Back when I loved PlayStation games, this is representative of the PS1 and the PS2 era.
People like to attack me personally for being a Sony simp, but here's why I'm not a simp.
I'll simp for them old school games. But yeah, like, just because I wear their logo doesn't mean that I co-sign to all their poor fucking company decisions. Definitely not. And when I do wear this, it's representative of a time past that I enjoyed more than I enjoy now, at least with gaming. So, yeah. Anything else, guys? Or are we done here? Alrighty, so at this
The
point,
other two
we're
are
getting...
mutant, so they're not going to say anything anyway. So.
Yeah, that's about it. We said all we need to say. Buy it at a discount.
Yeah.
Or don't buy it at all. Just play your remaster.
Yeah, just play a remaster. If you don't want to
play it,
perfectly
fine, beautiful game. No,
Or just steal it. Just steal it. They're trying to kill your food supply and make you eat bugs. So you can steal a couple of video games. It's fine.
Put on the eye patch. But
delicious.
At this point, guys, would you stop chewing eyes? What the fuck, dude?
My bad.
My bad. But at this point, guys, we're coming to the end of the show. If you guys want to promote anything, society, you can go first.
Yeah. So can you hear me? Okay, never mind.
Yep.
Yeah. So tomorrow night we're gonna be doing the bar stream, the Barroom podcast, episode 8. We're going to be talking a little bit more about the Rippaverse. We're going to be talking about Henry Cavill, Resident Evil, Ana de Armas. And I think there's another one that we'll talk about as well. So hopefully we'll have a good core of people for that discussion. I think Dave Chappelle was the other one that we'll talk about. Saturday night on Twitch, we're going to be watching a 1996 film, House Arrest. And that should be a very, very interesting one. It's probably the most family-centric film that we've watched so far today because we watch a lot of fuck shit. So I don't expect too much to come out of that. And then Monday, we're going to be reviewing the Nope movie that I just saw. And then The Gray Man, we'll be reviewing both of those. So should be a fun night.
All right, cool. Oz, would you have anything you'd like to promote besides your OnlyFans with your feet pictures?
Feet picture? Oh, there's only one good thing about Comic-Con. I forgot to say. Outside in front of Comic-Con, there's a 20-foot inflatable Ozzy Osbourne figure. It's amazing. You should see it. That's it.
That's what you're promoting? That's what you're promoting?
No. I saw it. It was hilarious. Night promoting shit.
You're an Ozzy simp, so. But, yeah, that's all you'd like to say for your moment to promote whatever the fuck. You don't want to promote your OnlyFans with your feet pics? Nah?
My feet pics? No. No. Fuck you, Rob Zombie. There we go.
Shit. Okay. And TJ, would you like to promote anything or say anything? Give any final words on this podcast?
Hey, follow me nowhere. I have no social media. There's nowhere to follow me right now. I have been considering making content. So when I do decide to make some type of page for whether it's for YouTube, Twitch, this will be the first platform that knows about it.
All right, cool. Thank you. Scarlet Witch said she likes my shirt. Yes, I wore this because if it went bad, I'm just gonna burn my YouTube channel to the ground, Dark Phoenix style. It's all good, man. That's why I wore it. But thank you so much. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate everybody who tuned in. It's a really good show. It's interesting. Definitely interesting to have Society, who isn't really big on game or at least modern games, but he's more into the movies and stuff. And he definitely helped me out with the stream. So thank you so much. This is the first live stream that I've done on YouTube using StreamYard. So let me know the feedback, what you guys think overall. I would like to consider continuing doing this. It was a really good stream. Everyone, the chat was amazing. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And adding to the conversation. So, here's the Lemonade King promoting his new content. But
no one cares, Lemonade. No one cares.
We love you, Lemonade. So I'll let you promote your shit here. But also shout out to Spencer. Hope the COVIDs is over and done with, bro. I appreciate you coming through, man. I really do. And yeah, guys, if you can, subscribe to the channel. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitch. Those links are in the description below. I love playing video games and talking with y'all. So definitely, if you guys want to talk about anything that's going on in terms of gaming, movies, stuff that I'm into, especially old school stuff. I'm more of a retro person. And Oz is still fucking chewing on the stream.
You got to stop.
Yeah. That's right.
That is the fucking worst, yo. But yeah, thanks everybody who tuned in. But yes, thank you to the panel. Thank you to the chat. I really appreciate y'all for coming through. And with all that being said, we're out. Peace.
Bye.